Hey everyone, welcome back to the Johnny What a Gentleman podcast. Here, episode number 3. And I am, of course, your host, myself, Jonathan, and just doing another solo podcast episode for you all. I thought that for today's episode, I would actually talk about movies because I'm a pretty big, avid movie guy. And just recently, I was able to purchase two 70 millimeter IMAX tickets to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which, believe it or not, is not coming out anytime this year. In fact, it's not coming out at all in 2025. It is actually coming out in 2026. I believe the date is July 17. Yeah, 17th. And so, for whatever reason, maybe he's just the greatest filmmaker ever or marketing genius, they decided to put advanced tickets out. So I was able to snag actually just two of them, but I was unable to get any tickets in my home state, Indiana. There's actually an IMAX movie theater here in Indianapolis at the Indiana State Museum, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And so all those tickets sold out. And I think the tickets that I bought, there's one of them in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There's an IMAX theater there. I was able to get a seat. I don't think it's great. It's like B something. It's way too much in the front, but and then there's another IMAX location, I think in Atlanta, Georgia. So I have no idea what my plans are going to be next year in July, but I bought those two tickets. I have them, and I'm already super stoked. Can't wait to see the movie. So that's definitely been on my mind. So I thought, in light of that occasion, I would share with you the movies that I have seen thus far in my life. Now, this isn't a complete exhaustive list of every single movie that I've seen. There's definitely random movies that are not on this list. There's movies that I just haven't bothered to put down on my list. And there's also movies like Disney movies or kind of just classic movies, I guess, that I just didn't put down on my list just because I've probably seen them like so many times, or they're just movies that everyone has seen. So, in any event, I will share with you the list of movies that I have seen, and I also have a Letterboxd profile. It is my name. It's the same. It's Johnny What a Gentleman. So feel free to check out the movies and such that I've seen there if that's easier. And I would love for you to comment a movie, a show, or just, yeah, something that you've seen that has really stuck with you, perhaps has really maybe changed your life or awakened something in you. I always love being able to get to know what movies and why they've affected someone's life. So yeah, please definitely comment like a movie that you recommend to, or uh, yeah, any movie that you feel like has had an impact on your life. Okay, so just going off of my list on my iPhone, I have pretty much just made this list, I don't know, sometime back in college, and it was just on a simple Google Docs. So here we go. And this is going to be in alphabetical order. So I'm just going to kind of go off all of these movies. And yeah, I'd love to know if you've seen a good handful of these. Okay, here we go. Starting off, the first movie, A Cure for Wellness. It's it's a very, yeah, it's like a very I haven't seen it in a while, but it's a movie that definitely surprised me. if you've seen the movie Shutter Island, but it's similar in the sort of atmosphere and constant unknowingness. I love that tension, and so if you're into that, you should see A Cure for Wellness. After Sun, oh, whew, man, uh, that movie broke me. And actually, maybe in the future I can go more in depth on some of these movies. I probably will, just because I have a lot to say about some of these. But I'm just gonna kind of go briefly because I've seen a lot. So here we go. But After Sun, you should definitely see. It's about a father and daughter's relationship during a like a trip they go on. But it's about memory and um, yeah, it's just it's yeah. But it's definitely very emotional. So I wouldn't don't just put it on just thinking you're gonna enjoy it. Air, which is about the shoe. Um, All is Lost. Anatomy of a Fall. It's a great movie. American Sniper. Apollo 13. Argo, which won Best Picture. It's a great movie. Then we have Arrival, which is a fantastic sci-fi movie. Yeah, really, really great. As Good as It Gets. A Ghost Story, very underrated. Avatar. Awakenings. Batman Begins. Beautiful Boy. Being the Ricardos. Big. This one's one of my like all-time favorites. Um, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. It's a movie that is just in virtually every aspect of filmmaking. It's just, I feel like it's like peak, it's top. It's a movie that is, there's this sort of continuous idea to present the movie in a single take, which, I mean, it's just astounding what they were able to pull off in that movie. Blade Runner 2049, great movie. Blonde. Bridge of Spies. Boulevard. Ooh, um, that was it was one of the last movies with Robin Williams, and it's yeah, it's very sad. Captain Phillips. Casino Royale. Catch Me If You Can. Chariots of Fire. Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Prince Caspian. Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Come On, Come On. Conclave. Dallas Buyers Club. It's a great movie. Dead Poets Society. It's a classic. It's a great one. Denial. Don't Worry, Darling. Drive My Car. Dunkirk. Edge of Tomorrow. Empire of Light. Ender's Game. Erin Brockovich. Everest. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's definitely, there's a lot in that movie. Won Best Picture, I believe. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. All of those movies, they're okay, I think. Fight Club, it's a classic. Forrest Gump, another classic. Foxcatcher. So that, I believe, is about it's based on a true story about a someone who does wrestling, I believe, and there's like a guy named John DuPont. true story, and they have a very, very tense, very difficult relationship, if you can even call it that. Basically, he tries to coach this guy, and wow, it's very intense, kind of like the movie Whiplash. Okay, next we have Fury. It's a war movie. Godzilla. I'm referring to the American remake in like the 2000 teens. Godzilla minus one. That was excellent. Gone Girl. It's a great movie. Good Will Hunting. Gravity. Guardians of the Galaxy. Hacksaw Ridge. Uh, all of the Harry Potter movies. I don't really need to go over them. They're amazing and classic in its own way. My favorite one of the series of the seven or eight, if you, since Deathly Hallows is two parts. My favorite movie is definitely why am I forgetting? Oh, it's the Half Blood Prince. Okay, we got Her, Hereditary, Hidden Figures, Hillbilly Elegy, Hunger, I'm Still Here, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and that movie is like, I don't think I've ever been more confused watching a movie than that one. I mean, there's confusing movies like a lot of Christopher Nolan's films, which are non-linear storytelling, but there's still a there's still an intention and cohesive understanding of why elements are flipped and why you're seeing things out of order. But the movie I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I just remember just being 10 minutes into this film, and I was just so lost of like, I don't even like know what's happening, because the narration and then the visuals are, they're so disjointed. And I think there's a reason for that, but when I first watched the movie, that was so obvious to me that I was just lost. I didn't know what was going on. And so when things kind of, I guess, tried to explain themselves towards the end of the film, I didn't really know like why. Oh, but that's definitely a movie if you want to be confused and but ultimately satisfied, then you should see that. Of course, we have Inception, Independence Day, and the new one, Resurgence. Inside Out. It's one of my favorite, favorite movies of the Disney or Pixar, or one of those or both. It's one of my favorites recently. Interstellar. It's of course speaks for itself. Jackie, Joker, and Joker Folie à Deux. Now, I loved both of those films, and I will literally defend both of them, especially the second one, because I think both of those films actually present a lot more beyond just the surface level. Especially the second movie, I know it got flamed, and a lot of people seem to just discard it because it is kind of like a musical, and there's elements that don't necessarily, I think, end up satisfying in the end. It kind of feels like a letdown. But I will defend that movie because I think I've definitely been inspired by that. But I mean, in a good way. But in terms of artistically and even emotionally, I think there's a lot there that I mean, I would do myself. So, okay. We have Just Mercy, Jurassic World. So yeah, I've seen the first remake, but I haven't seen some of the other ones. And then I actually did recently see the most recent one, which was, I believe it was called Jurassic World Rebirth. But honestly, I didn't really think much of that. I kind of felt like that movie didn't really need to be made. It was a fine story, but and I'm not. I mean, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it kind of felt that at the end of of this movie, we kind of ended up at the same place, I guess. So it was almost kind of like, what was the point? I mean, it was still enjoyable, but yeah. Okay, Lady Bird, Last Night in Soho, Les Miserables, Lincoln, Living, Lost Girls, Luckiest Girl Alive, Maestro, Man of Steel, that's a Superman movie, Man on Wire, Manchester by the Sea, which is a very sad film, Mank, Maria, Mass, which I don't know if you've even heard of that film, but it's a it's a really hmm, it's a film about four people having a conversation inside a small church, and that's all it is. But the conversation that they have is so well discussed. They go so in depth, and they attack the issue from just about every possible angle. So it's very emotional, and it's very much just dialogue. But if you're into that, which I am, you should definitely see Mass. Okay, we have Midsummer, which is again a film that speaks for itself. Very yeah, there's a lot there. Minamata, Minari, Miss Sloane, Moneyball, it's a great film. Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, Moonlight, which is one of my favorite films, Mother, Mr. Jones, Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium, Munich, The Edge of War, Nickel Boys. I would definitely recommend this film. It's a very important film. It's about these young boys in, I want to say, like, and kind of during the civil rights movement in the 1960s, but it kind of has a different uh, timeline, goes back and forth. But it's just, I think it's an important story, and also the way it's shot is really, I think, gives an extra layer of storytelling. I don't want to spoil it, but you should definitely check it out. Ooh, another great underrated film, Nightmare Alley, No Country for Old Men, Nocturnal Animals, Nomadland, Oblivion, Oppenheimer. So I just think a masterpiece of a film. Parasite, another pretty much a masterpiece. Patriots Day, Pawn Sacrifice, Phantom Thread, Pieces of a Woman, Poor Things, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, a beautifully shot movie. And yeah, if you haven't seen that one, beautifully shot. The story is very much, it feels like it's a story told through paintings, but also expressed through music and uh, just the idea of love. And so I would definitely recommend that. I don't think a lot of people have even heard of that film, but it's a fantastic film. Presence, Priscilla, Prisoners, fantastic movie. Roma, Rush, Saltburn, it's a crazy movie. Saving Mr. Banks, Schindler's List, just yeah, a masterpiece by Steven Spielberg. September 5, She Said, Shutter Island, Sicario, Silence, Sing Sing, a very underrated film, Skyfall, Small Things Like These, Snowden, Soul. Now, Soul just might be my favorite Pixar film ever. I'll have to go back. I mean, there's like the original Pixar movies that we all grew up with, which I feel like those are just like you can't even compare them because they were just I mean, that's like what defined the brand and what gave Pixar like its recognition. But Soul just might be like my favorite of all of those movies just because I can relate to it so much, and also I think the message and the way it was presented was just beautifully shown. So it's funny though, I feel like some people they just didn't really get it or like it as much, but maybe it's just because I'm a musician. Okay, we have Spencer, Spotlight. It's a fantastic movie. We have the kind of like the new Star Trek movies, Star Trek Into Darkness, Star Trek Beyond. And then we have all of the Star Wars films. So I know this is going to be a hot take, but I'm just going to say it because, hey, this is my podcast. But I know the new trilogy of Star Wars films have gotten a lot of have been very divisive to say the least. And obviously, I don't need to expand upon that. I think the internet and people have said what they have wanted to about these films. But I mean, I didn't mind all of them, and I actually really liked the Last Jedi, which was technically now I guess the eighth movie. Um, that's like I just I like that's like one of my favorite Star Wars films. So you can hate me because of that, but hey, that's what I like. Ooh, Star Wars Rogue One, Steve Jobs, Stutz or Stutz. It's a documentary. Sully, Tar, Tenet, fantastic, just mind blowing film by Christopher Nolan. Tick Tick Boom, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Batman. Yeah, these are all going to be The Big Short, The Black Swan, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. This is another one of my favorites, The Brutalist. The, the Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, The Darkest Hour, The Fablemans, The Favorite, The Florida Project, The Gift, The Good Nurse, The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's a great one. The Great Gatsby, The Greatest Showman, The God Committee, The Guilty, The Hobbit. So all of those. Unexpected Journey, The Desolation of Smaug, and The Battle of the Five Armies. The Holdovers, that's a great movie. The Insider, The Imitation Game, and this is one of my favorite, you could say, darker movies, psychological thrillers, is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. If you want just a complete, like, mind-blown psychological movie that is just unnerving and just makes you so, like, uneasy watching it, but it's oddly satisfying, then you should see that movie. Can't recommend that enough. The Lego Movie. Whoops. Where am I? Oh, The Lighthouse, The Lobster, The Lord of the Rings, all three of them, just, yeah, all amazing. The Lost Daughter, The Martian, The Menu, The Monuments Men, The Nice Guys, The Pale Blue Eye, The Pianist, The Power of the Dog, The Revenant. Yeah, that's a really great movie. The Shape of Water, The Stanford Prison Experiment, The Social Network, The Theory of Everything, The Whale, The Wonder, The Zone of Interest, which I would argue that it is one of the few modern day masterpieces. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Trial of the Chicago Seven, True Story, Trumbo, Unbroken, Up, United, United 93, Whiplash, Wind River, Wolf of Wall Street, Wonder Woman, World War Z, Zero Dark 30, Zodiac, which is a fantastic crime, detective noir movie, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and 1917. And that's a fantastic movie. So yeah, those are, and there's obviously some movies that I have seen that I haven't mentioned, but that's kind of like generally the list of movies that I've seen so far. And like I said, I have a letterbox, Johnny What a Gentleman, so you can see all those movies and whatnot. And I'll probably update new ones that I see on there. But yeah, those were the list, and I would love to hear if you have any recommendations or movies that you've seen that I have also seen that you want to mention. Yeah, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. Maybe we have something in common. All right, well, thanks for watching and listening, and I hope to see you all in the next podcast episode. So, take care.